In this video, I'm going to discuss about the stresses in thick cylinder. So I'm going to consider a thick cylinder subjected to both internal as well as external pressure. Thick cylinders. In case of thick cylinder, the ratio of internal diameter of the cylinder to its thickness, that is wall thickness, is less than 15. The examples of thick cylinders are hydraulic cylinders, high pressure pipes, gun barrels, etc. The radial stress is neglected in thin cylinders while it is having significant magnitude in case of thick cylinders. So we are going to consider the radial stress in case of thick cylinders. Consider a thick cylinder having internal diameter di, external diameter do, subjected to an internal pressure pi and external pressure po. So for the analysis, we are going to consider a ring element which is at a distance of small r from the center of the cylinder and having thickness, radial thickness dr. Now the cylinder will be subjected to three stresses: the tangential stress, the longitudinal stress, and the radial stress. The tangential stress will be acting along the tangent or will be acting along the transverse axis. The longitudinal stress will be acting along the longitudinal axis of the cylinder, and the radial stress sigma r will act in radial direction. So if I want to find out the stress at any element along the thickness of this cylinder, so the tangential stress will be in the direction as shown, means it will be tangent to a circle drawn from this element from the center of the cylinder. So this is the tangential stress, and the stress which is perpendicular to the tangential stress along the radius is the radial stress. So sigma t and sigma r will be perpendicular to each other, and the longitudinal stress will be perpendicular to both sigma t and sigma r, so it will be perpendicular to the plane of paper. Now we want to find out the values of sigma t and sigma r, as both sigma t and sigma r values will depend on the distance of this element from the center. Hence the values of sigma t and sigma r will vary along the thickness of the cylinder, while we are going to consider the value of sigma l as constant over the entire wall thickness. So for the analysis, we have considered the half portion of this ring element, so sigma t is the tangential stress, sigma r is the radial stress which is acting at a distance of small r. The stress value at a distance r plus dr, that is at the outer surface of this ring element, is sigma r plus d sigma r. So the value has increased by a small amount, d sigma r. Now if I want, for further analysis, we are going to consider the forces acting on the ring element in vertical direction. So let F1 is the force because of the tangential stress, let F2 is the force because of the radial stress acting at the inner surface of the ring element, and F3 is the force acting because of the radial stress acting on the outer surface of this ring element. So first of all, we are going to find out the value of F1. F1 will be sigma T into area. So the tangential stress is acting along these rectangular strips. So the area of this single rectangular strip, whose width is dr and length is L, will be dr into L. Such a two areas are there. That's why it is sigma T into 2 into dr into L. Now, if we want to find out the force because of the radial stress acting at the inner surface of this ring element, so the area which is normal to sigma r is I have shown by this shaded portion. So this is a rectangle having width 2r, as sigma r is acting at the inner surface, that's why the width is 2r and the length is L. So it is sigma r into area. So it is sigma r into 2r into L is the value of F2. Now the value of F3 will be sigma r plus d sigma r into area. So area in this case, the area normal to this sigma r plus d sigma r in horizontal plane will be a rectangle whose width will be 2r plus dr, that is 2 into dr plus r. So sigma r plus d sigma r into 2 dr plus r into L is the value of F3. Considering the equilibrium of forces on this ring element acting in vertical direction, so the force which is acting in vertical direction is F1 and F2, and in downward direction it is F3. So why it is F1 plus F2 minus F3 is equals to 0. Now F1 is sigma T into 2 into dr into L, plus F2 is sigma r into 2 into r into L, minus F3 is sigma r plus d sigma r into 2 dr plus r into L, it is equals to 0. So here 2 and L term is common for all, so it will get cancelled. 2L will get cancelled from each term. Now what we have got, sigma T into dr plus sigma r into r minus, I am going to multiply this bracket by first of all dr and then by r. So sigma r into dr plus d sigma r into dr plus sigma r into r plus d sigma r into r is equals to 0. Now sigma t into dr plus sigma r into r minus sigma r dr. The value over here is the product of two small terms, hence we are going to neglect this value. So neglecting this value, next value is minus sigma r into r plus minus d sigma r into r is equals to 0. So sigma r into r will get cancelled. So sigma t into dr minus sigma r dr minus d sigma r into r is equals to 0. dividing throughout by dr. So sigma t minus sigma r minus d sigma r divide by dr into r is equals to 0. So this is our first equation. Now we have considered that the longitudinal stress for the thick cylinder is constant over the entire wall thickness. Hence, strain in the longitudinal direction will be constant. We are having an equation or a relation for strain. Strain in x direction is equals to sigma x upon E, means stress in that direction, divided by Young's modulus, minus nu upon E into sigma y plus sigma z. So in this case, x is the longitudinal direction, so strain in longitudinal direction is equals to stress in longitudinal direction divided by Young's modulus minus Poisson's ratio upon Young's modulus into the remaining two stresses. The remaining two stresses are sigma r and sigma t. So rearranging these terms, I want sigma r plus sigma t on one side. So sigma r plus sigma t into nu upon E. I have taken it on left hand side. So on right hand side, sigma L upon E minus EL. Hence sigma r plus sigma t is equals to E upon nu into bracket sigma L upon E minus EL. So if you will see the terms on right hand side, it is Young's modulus, it is Poisson's ratio, both are constant. The stress in longitudinal direction, it is, we have considered it as constant, so it is constant. E strain is also constant, so all the terms on right hand side are constant. So I am going to represent the right hand side terms by 2a. So let it be 2a, and this is our equation number 2. Subtracting equation 1 from 2, that is equation 2 minus equation 1. So sigma r plus sigma t minus sigma t plus sigma r plus d sigma r by dr into r is equals to 2a. So sigma t will get cancelled. So 2 sigma r plus r into d sigma r upon dr is equals to 2a. Now 2 into sigma r minus a is equals to minus d sigma r upon dr. So I have taken 2a term on left hand side and I have sent this term on right hand side. So sorry, it is r into d sigma r. So now rearranging the terms, so 2 sigma r minus a upon d sigma r is equals to minus r upon dr. Now taking the reciprocal on both sides, so sigma d sigma r upon 2 sigma r minus a is equals to minus dr upon r. Now I am going to rewrite this equation by sending the value of 2 on right hand side. So d sigma r upon sigma r minus a is equals to minus 2 dr upon r. So now if I am going to integrate on both side, integrating on both side, integration of 1 upon x is log x. So log sigma r minus a is equals to minus 2 log r plus log b. So the derivative of dr upon r is log r, sorry, the integration of dr upon r is log r, and log b is the constant of integration. Hence log to the base e sigma r minus a is equals to minus log r square plus log b. Hence log sigma r minus a is equals to log of b upon r square. So log of a minus b I have used over here. Now taking antilog on both sides, so sigma r minus a will be equals to b upon r square. So sigma r is equals to a plus b upon r square. So this is equation number 3. So put this value of equation 3 in equation 2. The equation 2 is sigma r plus sigma t is 2a. So sigma t plus a plus b upon r square is equals to 2a. Hence sigma t is equals to a minus b upon r square. So this is equation number 4. So equation 3 and 4 are very important for the further analysis. Now to find out the values of these constants a and b, the boundary conditions we are going to use. So for boundary conditions we are going to refer the diagram again. So from diagram, at a distance of di by 2, that is at the inner surface of this cylinder, the value of stress sigma r is equals to the pressure intensity. So at r is equals to di by 2, sigma r is having same intensity as that of pressure, but its direction is opposite. So sigma r is minus pi. And when we are talking about the outer surface of this cylinder, the outer surface is at a distance do by 2, and at that outer surface the pressure intensity is po. So at r is equals to do by 2, the value of sigma r is minus po. So I am going to put the two conditions, condition 1 and condition 2 in equation 3. So first of all put condition 1 in equation 3. So sigma r, it is minus pi is equals to a plus b upon r square. So r is di by 2, so di square by 4, so it is 4. Similarly put equation 2, that is second condition, in equation 3. So minus PO is equals to A plus 4B upon DO square. So I am going to subtract these two. So AA will get cancelled. So minus PI plus PO is equals to 4B into bracket 1 upon DI square minus 1 upon DO square. So rearranging the terms and solving the term in the bracket, PO minus PI is equals to 4B into DO square minus DI square upon DI square into DO square. Hence B is equals to PO minus PI into DI square DO square divided by 4 into DO square minus DI square. So this is the value of B. So put the value of B in this equation, which I have denoted by small b. So put the value of capital B in this equation. So minus PO is equals to A plus 4 upon DO square into PO minus PI into DI square DO square divided by 4 into DO square minus DI square. So DO square will get cancelled, 4 will get cancelled. So minus PO into DO square minus DI square is equals to A into DO square minus DI square plus PO DI square minus PI DI square. So minus PO DO square plus PO DI square is equals to A into DO square minus DI square plus PO DI square minus PI DI square. So PI DI square PO DI square will get cancelled. So what we have got on left hand side, so it is minus PO DO square plus PI DI square is equals to A into DO square minus DI square. So rearranging the terms and writing the equation for A will be PI DI square minus PO DO square upon DO square minus DI square. So this is the equation for A. So now we have got the values of constants A and B. From equation 3, the value of sigma r is A plus B upon r square. So sigma r is equals to PI DI square minus PO DO square upon DO square minus DI square plus B is PO minus PI into DI square DO square divided by 4 into DO square minus DI square into 1 upon R square is the value of the radial stress. Now the tangential stress from equation 4, it is A minus B upon R square. So the tangential stress will be PI DI square minus PO DO square divided by divide by dO square minus di square minus PO minus PI into di square dO square divide by 4 into dO square minus di square into 1 upon r square. So these are the values of the radial and tangential stress, which will change as we are going to change this distance r along the thickness of this thick cylinder.